I had a buyer almost close on what looked like the perfect Arizona acre house. Mountain views, no HOA, room for the horses, and then I pulled the flood zone map. What we found would have cost them tens of thousands of dollars after closing. This video exists so that you don't make the same mistake, because buying a home on land in Arizona can genuinely change your life. It's gonna give you that privacy, freedom, space, views, the lifestyle so many people are moving here for. But there's a version of this purchase that becomes one of the most expensive mistakes you will ever make. And the difference between those two outcomes is that almost always the same things nobody tells you before you make an offer. So today I'm walking you through all of it. The best areas near Phoenix for acreage right now, what real pricing looks like, what the lifestyle actually feels like day to day, the hidden risks most buyers don't discover until after closing, and the exact questions you need to ask before you make an offer on any house on land in Arizona. All right, guys, let's get into it. Over the last few years, demand for acre lot homes in Arizona has exploded, and the reason is not complicated. People are exhausted by tiny backyards, no privacy. HOA is controlling what color your gate has to be, the color of your house. Can you add a pergola? Neighbors are so close they can hear your conversations through the walls next door. Dense subdivisions where every home looks identical and you feel like you're sharing your lot with your neighbor, especially buyers coming from out of state. A lot of people get to Arizona and have the same moment. They realize they can actually have space here, space for a pool, horses, a garden, your own private workshop, RVs, don't have to pay for RV parking anymore, extra guests, room for your kids and your dogs to actually run around. And once buyers experience that kind of privacy, it's very hard to go back. There is something genuinely different about walking outside in the morning and seeing open desert and mountain views instead of looking directly into your neighbor's yard or their kitchen window. My buyers tell me the first thing they notice after moving into their acreage is all the quietness. There's no traffic noise outside the bedroom window, no landscapers at 7 a.m. unless they're yours, no HOA letters about your weeds or your trash cans being out too long. For a lot of people, that peace of mind becomes one of their favorite things about living in Arizona. But here's the part buyers do not always want to hear. That peace comes with real responsibility. And that's where people can get into serious financial trouble, because acreage is not just a bigger backyard, it's a fundamentally different type of property. You've got different inspections, different utilities, different risks, different rules, and in some cases, very different costs. Let me break all of that down for you because I know it's a lot to unpackage. Let's start with location, because this is one of the most common mistakes I see. Buyers assume land is land. It is not. An acre in Queen Creek does not feel or function the same as an acre in Cave Creek. An acre in Buckeye is a completely different lifestyle than an acre in Desert Hills. The area changes everything about your day-to-day experience. So let's go through the main areas that I see people ask about. There's Queen Creek, Santan Valley are some of the most popular right now for the East Valley, buyers who want homes on land. Queen Creek is known for horse properties, no HOA pockets, RV homes, newer homes, and larger lots. Compared to Scottsdale, you can still get significantly more land for your money here. Most acre lot properties in Queen Creek and Santan Valley fall roughly about $800,000 and up. It really depends on upgrades. Is there horse setup? Is there backyard landscaping? People love Queen Creek because it still feels very open and newer, while still being in the Phoenix metro and connected to all the East Valley amazing restaurants, retail, and freeways. You're gonna see gorgeous horse properties, RV garages, detached workshops, and open space feeling all throughout, and some of the most gorgeous houses I've ever seen. Modern farmhouses. Talk about a dream house. But there's a trade-off, and I want to be completely honest about that. The commute. Queen Creek is still further out. If you're driving into central Phoenix every day, you have to be genuinely honest with yourself about what that means for your quality of life. Acreage that costs you 2 extra hours of driving every day has a way less feeling of peace than I'm sure you can imagine. Cave Creek and Carefree are where you want to go when you want that authentic Arizona desert living, but still be closer to Phoenix. This is not polished suburbia. It's no cookie cutter master plan homes. Cave Creek has gorgeous mountain views, luxury desert homes, horse properties. It's rugged, scenic feel you simply cannot replicate. The acre lot homes here are going to range closer to 900,000 and up. That's going to give you mountain views, luxury homes. I've seen some really nice luxury homes, 1 million and up. There's going to have custom finishes near downtown Cave Creek. But here's something you need to know before buying in this area specifically. Water matters here more than most parts of the valley. Cave Creek relies heavily on the Colorado River, so you want to make sure you know what's going on with the water situation with the house where you're at. You want to know where it comes from, how is it managed, and what the long-term risks look like. Ideally, we find you a house that's got a well and you won't have those kind of issues. But this is not a reason to avoid Cave Creek. Again, you just want to make sure you do your due diligence and ask these questions before you buy. Desert Hills and New River are honestly one of the best kept secrets for homes on land, but still being close to Phoenix. I've got clients actively looking in this area. Let me tell you, I've fallen in love with all the homes I've been showing them. This area offers mountain views, no HOA properties, horse zoning, a more rugged feel, better value than actually buyers expect. Most of the homes here fall roughly, again, they're going to be 750,000 and plus. It really just depends on the style of the homes. Now, buyers love this area because it's just so beautiful and peaceful and all the mountain views and the desert scenery. And it's honestly so close to Phoenix. It's amazing. So you're going to be more centrally located, but still getting that privacy, still getting that space for your animals, your workshops, whatever you want to add. Build a casita. This area feels very different than Queen Creek. It's more rugged, more desert, but it's absolutely beautiful. Buckeye in the West Valley is where you want to go when you want to get the most for your dollar. Buckeye is actually one of the most affordable places to find homes on land right now near Phoenix. I've seen some beautiful homes out there, 450,000 and up. And if you're willing to go a little bit more west, there's a city called Tonopah. I have clients right now buying beautiful brand new homes on acre lots for 400,000. It's insane. If you work remotely or are already tied to living and working in the West Valley, Buckeye could make a really good location for you, but you're going to be further out from Central Phoenix, further out from East Valley. And depending on exactly where the property sits, you may be further out from shopping, restaurants, medical care, job centers. So these are all things that are going to matter to your daily life, but the land can be incredible. Maybe that's what you're looking for, to be further out from everyone. The lifestyle has to fit before the lot size every single time. We need to make sure the location is going to work if you need to commute. Now let's talk about what you can actually do on your private acre lot that a normal subdivision is simply gonna not allow you to do, because this is where buyers get excited. And of course, who wouldn't? Horses are one of the biggest reasons my clients seek homes on land. A horse property can mean a barn, corrals, tack room, and riding space all on your own land instead of paying boarding fees somewhere else every month. For horse people, this is exactly the type of life they're building and wanting. But again, we'll need to verify everything. A listing that says horse property does not automatically mean you can do everything you want on that parcel. We'll always want to do due diligence. Also, you need to confirm zoning, deed restrictions, and any HOA rules before you get attached and love the home. RV and toy storage is another big thing. No HOA restrictions, or at least far or fewer of them. This is going to allow you to store your RV, your boat, your trailer, your ATV, side-by-sides, work vehicles. This is amazing. And it's going to save you a ton of money, because if you had to store all those things and pay for that, like we have to pay for our boat storage, that adds up to hundreds of dollars a month. Workshops, casitas, and guest houses are another reason people buy homes on land. Multi-generational families, remote workers, car enthusiasts, small business owners. Most subdivision homes just don't allow these kind of setups, unfortunately. When you buy a home on land, it really depends on the zoning and utilities. You're gonna have a lot more flexibility. And then of course, there's privacy. You don't have a shared wall with your neighbor. There's no neighbor staring directly into your backyard or into your house. For many of my clients coming from out of state, this is often the part that feels the most life-changing for them. Now we need to talk about the due diligence. And I want you to stay with me here, because this section is the most important thing in this entire video. Most buyers think due diligence means the inspection. On Acreage, the inspection is just the beginning. There are layers to this that most agents don't even walk you through until something has already gone wrong. And by then, you are either already under contract or you've already closed. So let's go through every single one of these. water. This is the single most important thing to understand before buying your house on land. Not all acre properties are equal when it comes to water access. Some are on city water, some are served by private water companies, some are on shared wells, and some are on private wells. Each of these options carries different costs, different risks, and different ongoing responsibilities. The city water is obviously going to be the most straightforward, but even then you want to confirm with the provider the rates and whether the infrastructure is already in place or whether connection fees are going to apply. A private water company might be completely fine, but again, you need to understand the rates, reliability, and service terms before you commit. Some private water companies in Arizona have had serious capacity and reliability issues. That is not something you want to discover after you close on your home. A shared well means multiple properties are depending on one water source. So you're going to need to understand the well agreement in detail. Who maintains it, who pays when something breaks, what the output has looked like historically, what happens if production declines over time, who has priority if there's ever a shortage. That would be concerning. These are not hypothetical questions. A private well gives you independence, but also puts the maintenance, testing, and repair costs entirely on you. Wells can fail. Pumps go out, water quality can shift, and drilling a new well or depending on an existing one is not cheap. We are talking anywhere from $15,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on the depth and the conditions. You're gonna need a well inspection and a water quality test before you remove due diligence on any property with a private well. No exceptions. Understanding the water situation before you fall in love with a property is not optional when the home is on land. It's the job. Septic systems are another area that trips buyers up consistently. Most homes on land in Arizona are in septic instead of city water. That scares many buyers at first. It should not, because it is extremely common throughout rural areas of Arizona, and a well-maintained system causes zero issues. But you need a proper septic inspection from a licensed inspector, not just a visual inspection. You're gonna need to know the age and the condition of the tank, the drain field location, and how the system has been serviced, and whether there's any history of backups, repairs, or failures. And critically, before you get excited about any future plans, you need to know whether those plans are even possible given where the septic sits on the lot. Buyers find out at the wrong time that the pool they were planning is not possible without relocating the septic first, or that the casita they wanted to add cannot be permitted because the setback conflicts with the drain field. That is a very different budget conversation than buyers are going to be expecting. Get the septic inspection, get the records, ask about every future plan before you remove contingencies. Flood zones and washes are something buyers consistently underestimate, and I want to be direct about this one. People assume desert means dry. Arizona's monsoon season is no joke. The desert floods fast and sometimes dramatically. I have seen properties that look completely usable and open on paper that have a wash literally running through the back third of the backyard. That's gonna make that land completely unbuildable. Before buying any home on property, you need to verify the FEMA flood zone designation for that specific parcel. Understand where any washes or drainage paths run, and know how that's going to affect your insurance, your buildability, your usable square footage of that land, because flood zone designation affects your homeowner's insurance costs, your ability to get a mortgage on certain properties, your building and permittable plans, and how usable the land you're paying for actually is. A property that looks like a full acre on paper can actually behave like a much smaller lot because of the flood zone, washes, any easement, and that's not what you pay for. So you're gonna wanna verify all this before you make an offer, not after. Zoning is something I cannot emphasize strongly enough. You cannot assume that because a property sits on an acre, you can do anything you want with it. Zoning is gonna vary by parcel, by county, by municipality, and sometimes by what the previous owner did or did not do with the property. So before you fall in love with any home on land, you need to verify exactly what that specific parcel allows. Can you have horses? How many? What structures are permitted for them? Can you build a casita or a guest house? Is it permitted or just an existing permitted, unpermitted structure? Can you run a home-based business out of your home? Can you store RVs, boats, and equipment? Can you add a workshop or a barn? Can you split the lot in the future? These are not questions for after closing. They're questions ideally before you make an offer. And they are questions a great buyer's agent should already be helping you figure out. Permits and unpermitted structures deserve their own conversation. On acreage, homes on land, it's actually very common to find a previous owner built structures without using a permit. I've seen a barn, a casita, a workshop, a covered patio without getting a permit. Sellers sometimes did not know they needed permits. Sometimes they knew they did it anyways. Either way, unpermitted structures become your problem the moment you close on the home. County code enforcement can require you to bring structures into compliance or even remove them completely. Financing can be effective if an appraiser flags unpermitted square footage. Insurance can be complicated by structures that are not on record. So before you close on any home on land, you're going to want to pull the permit history and confirm that every structure on that lot has been properly permitted and inspected. Utilities are the last hidden cost that consistently catches buyers off guard. The home is already fully built and improved. This is going to be usually more straightforward. But if you're buying a home on land or a property where you want to add structures, you're going to need to understand what is already available on the property and what it would cost to bring anything that's missing. Does the property have power, water, septic, internet, propane, trash service, access to roads? All of these really carry costs. Running power to a remote parcel can cost tens of thousands of dollars depending on how far you are from the nearest line. Internet access in a rural area is going to vary dramatically. Some areas actually have amazing connections. Other areas are going to be limited to satellite options that may not always work for remote professionals. A piece of land that seems like a great deal can stop feeling like that once you start calculating all the costs it's going to take to really make it livable. Let me also tell you what buyers sometimes regret. Not to scare you away from acreage, because I genuinely believe it's one of the best lifestyle moves you can make here, but this is going to help prepare you. Buyers sometimes regret underestimating maintenance. A house on land sounds incredible until you realize that that means managing weeds, fencing, landscaping, pests, outbuildings, dust, sometimes animals on an ongoing basis. Some regret not accounting for how much longer their daily errands take when they're further out from everything. Some regret not fully understanding their septic or well situation before closing. Some regret buying in a flood zone without understanding what that meant for their home insurance or their future plans. Some regret assuming they could add a guest house or a workshop without verifying the zoning and permits first. And some simply realize they love the idea of land more than the daily reality of maintaining it. That is not failure, that's just a lifestyle fit problem. And it is one that with the right guidance before you buy, we can prevent. The buyers who absolutely thrive on their homes on land, they knew what they were signing up for. They want the space, they want the quiet, the freedom, and they are genuinely okay with the responsibility that comes with it. So who is acreage in Arizona perfect for? People who want privacy, people who want RV or toy storage, people who have horses or want horses and animals, people who want a workshop or a guest house, people who work remotely, people who want no HOA telling them exactly what to do, people who want mountain views, or people who simply want room to breathe. All right, and who is it not ideal for? If you want low maintenance, short drives to everything, polished, planned communities, sidewalks, amenities, zero responsibility besides the house itself, then a home on land is not going to be the right fit for you. If you've been considering buying a home on land, I'm Alejandra, a local realtor here in Arizona. I specialize in helping people move to Arizona, getting homes on land, so feel free to reach out. All my contact info is below. Book a call or fill out my form that says start here. All right, guys, well, I appreciate you watching. I hope you found this video helpful, guiding you on how to prepare on buying a home on land. I appreciate you hanging out, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.